Let's talk about what it means to have faith. When I teach people that we need to keep the laws of God as good as we can and actually walk in the footsteps of Jesus and actually observe what Jesus taught, I'm often met with verses that are taken out of context. This is one such verse in Ephesians 2. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and not of your own doing. It is a gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. But this verse doesn't mean what you think it means. People think that through your own faith, your own belief, you have been saved. But that's not actually the case. So let's dig deeper into what the word faith means in Scripture. Because these words have been transliterated across at least 4 to 5 different languages and dialects. These words don't always mean what you think they mean. So let's check out the word in the concordance. Faith is this word, pistis, and it means faith, belief, trust, confidence, fidelity, faithfulness. All right, well, based on the definition, you could say this word definitely means belief. It's my own belief that saves me. But context is really important in Scripture because context changes the meaning of a word. Unlike the English language, Hebrew and Greek were not as complex. They didn't have 20 different words to show the meaning of something. They had one word with 20 different meanings. And you were supposed to know what it meant based on the context of the sentence it was being used in. This is what a lexicon is for. Faith is always a gift from God and never something that can be produced by people. In short, for the believer, is God's divine persuasion and therefore distinct from human belief, yet involving it. The Lord continuously births faith in the yielded believer so that they can know what he prefers, i.e. the persuasion of his will. The root of pistis is to persuade, be persuaded, which supplies the core meaning of faith. It is God's warranty that guarantees the fulfillment of his revelation. He births within the receptive believer. Faith is always received from God and never generated by us. This starts to bring a whole new meaning to Ephesians 2, for by grace you have been saved through faith. Faith is only given to the redeemed. It is not a virtue that can be worked up by human effort. Faith enables the believer to know God's preferred will. Again, this brings a whole new meaning to the word faith, one that you were not taught in your church. My righteous one shall live by faith, and if he shrinks back, my soul has no pleasure in him. In sum, faith is a persuasion from God that we receive as he grants impulse. Faith is always the work of God and involves hearing his voice, whereby the believer lays hold of his preferred will. Faith is God's work. Faith is never the work of people. We cannot produce faith ourselves, nor can we drum it up at will. Faith comes by hearing and doing God's will.